Hi Taurus, thanks for joining me. This is your horoscope for February 2017. It's really nice to be with you. On the 4th of February, Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, goes into Aries, and it does that in your 12th house. For you, you're going to feel a strong drive and a sense of passion and desire to connect with something greater, some unmanifest force. So either your higher self or the higher power or the creator or the universe, whatever it is you want to call it. But there's really a sense of, what am I doing in terms of my own life? Where do I see myself going? I've got a clear purpose and I really want to get somewhere with that. Okay, so really use the first couple of days of February here to think about how you could use your energy in the most effective and positive way, because you'll really want to create something that's meaningful and you have the actual energy to see it through. On the 5th of February, Jupiter starts to retrograde, and Jupiter is an outer planet. So the retrogrades with the outer planets aren't that significant. A lot of them spend about 6 months of the year in retrograde. So it's not as significant as when it happens with the personal planet. Jupiter is the planet of good luck and good fortune, and that is in Libra in your 6th house. It's a great time to reflect. It's a great time to reevaluate what you're doing, and because it's in your 6th house, it will force you to reevaluate what you're doing in your career, what your daily routine looks like, whether it's satisfactory, whether it's helpful to you, whether you like it, whether you appreciate it. It opposes all of that energy in your 12th house. You've got Venus, Mars, and Uranus in Aries in your 12th. So if something is amiss, if something does not feel congruous with who you are, then you're going to feel quite driven and pushed to make changes to that, and that is not a bad thing. So it may feel uncomfortable in the sense that you may have to make changes, but it will be good in the long term because your life will look better. On the 7th, Mercury goes into Aquarius. Mercury is in Aquarius in your 10th house, with the midheaven and the sun in Aquarius both in your 10th. So this is a very good time for you in terms of your career. You will be able to innovate, you will be able to teach colleagues, you will be able to bring out new ideas, suggest new creative endeavors. You are at the top of your game in terms of your career, and also because your sun is in there, your identity is going to be strongly linked with your career. It's going to matter to you. So remember all of this other stuff going on behind the scenes. What do I want to do spiritually? How do I want to make my day-to-day routine look the way I want it to look? That is very likely to relate to your working life and what you can change there. So think about those things. You'll really be productive and you'll be able to really affect some good change here in February. Now on the 11th, we have the full moon in Leo, and it's also a lunar eclipse. So the full moon is in Leo in your 4th house. So there's going to be a sense of joy and enthusiasm and passion when it comes to family life and being around those people who are in your inner circle. But a lunar eclipse kind of interrupts that, and the effects of a lunar eclipse last 6 months. This lunar eclipse is on the North Node, so it's about pulling energy in, okay? The full moon is in Leo, the North Node is in Virgo, so it's about having a sense of fun and being able to enjoy the company of others, but also you're making good decisions, good judgments when it comes to letting people too close, or who you let into the inner circle, who you really are willing to be intimate with. So it's a good choice for you, Taurus, to make decisions about relationships. You know, if you're dating a couple of people and you're undecided, then you will find it much easier from this eclipse onwards on the 11th of February for the next 6 months to make good decisions about your romantic and your relationship connections. On the 14th of February through until the 1st of March, we've got Mars squaring Pluto. A square is when two planets are 90 degrees apart, and this connection happens once every 2 years. Mars is drive, desire, what I am not going to put up with. It's, you know, the brute. It's like the man, the soldier, in the sense of, this is my life, this is what I'm doing, I'm not listening to anybody else, okay? Pluto is about change and transformation in a really life and death way. It's significant, it's like big. Mars is in your 12th, Pluto is in your 9th, and when these two come together, the threat level rises. Pause for effect. So with Pluto being in your 9th, if something really seems incongruous to you, if something really doesn't work for you, you may react a little bit over the top, threat level being high, in the sense of, I've had enough of this, I'm moving to Asia. And I'm going to get a job at a cat factory or something like that. I am doing something totally different. I've looked at my path. I have found it lacking and wanting. I refuse to just sit around twiddling my thumbs. I'm going to go and do something, and I'm going to make huge changes. So that's the last 2 weeks of February. Be careful with that you throw your whole life up in the air and really change it, because once it comes back down, you may have to pick up the pieces. Only act on it if you're 100% certain. Also on the 14th of Feb through until the 9th of March, Mars, again, big player this month, he starts to conjunct Uranus. And Uranus is the planet of rebellion, eccentricity, and doing things your way. Sound similar? Sounds similar to Mars, because he's super ego maniac, me, what I'm doing, what I want. It's really funny. I watched many years ago, there was a series called Absolutely Fabulous, and Idina Monsoon, it's her 40th birthday. And she's in bed and she's miserable because she's turned 40. And her daughter comes in and she says, listen, why don't you make this a good day? Why don't you cheer up? And Idina says, you know what? It's my day. It may sound selfish, but if I want to be unhappy, that's my choice, because it's my day and it's me. Me. And that's what Mars is in Aries. It's me. Combined with Uranus, which is like, I'm a rebel, I do things differently, I don't care what anyone thinks of me. You can imagine what that looks like. And then at the same time, we've got that conjunction with Pluto. So you're really in a kind of league of your own. You're in your own little bubble. You're not interested in what anyone has to say. So if you've got a mentor who you truly respect and who has taught you everything you ever have learned and known, don't go see him in the last 2 weeks of February, because you're going to say, listen, you never knew anything in the first place and everything you've taught me is rubbish. I did all of this myself. Okay. So be careful about this. It's really kind of tempestuous energy. Now that lasts for the rest of February. And now moving on to the end of February, on the 26th, we've got Mercury going into Pisces. So this takes the edge off things a little bit, in the sense that you become more generous when it comes to the people in your life, especially your friends. And also on the 26th, we have a new moon in Pisces solar eclipse. And I'm going to make separate videos on the new moon and full moon. I do every month. I go into a lot more detail of what each of those really means. But really, this new moon in Pisces, it pulls in this Piscean energy. So it's about, I care about you. What can I do for you? How can I help? But also it's a solar eclipse, which again lasts for a long time afterwards. And it's about letting go of negative emotions. And it's about letting go of hurts and resentments and difficult feelings. So your friendships are really going to improve. And you will find it much easier to let go of things that usually would really bother you, or that you would see as a betrayal or an irritant or whatever it is. So it looks like an amazing month for you. Don't move to, Japan or Canada or South Africa if you're currently living in East Finchley in London, just because you have a whim at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. Take it easy. Use your energy productively to focus and to reflect on what your life is, especially career-wise, and what you want it to be. That is the best way to use this energy. So I hope you have a wonderful month. If you would like a private reading with me based on your birth chart, which I can draw up by looking at your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth, and then we can put the transits around your birth chart and see how this impacts you specifically, then please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, and I'll speak to you next month.